We have lots to talk about today. It's halfway through December. We have the Game Awards today, so we're going to have lots to go over tomorrow, but we also have some big news today from Xbox. They're updating their PC app, an update to cloud gaming. Great stuff for the future of Xbox itself. We have information on Sony's potential acquisition here of Katakawa. They are looking to do this, and there's some employees that have weighed in from Katakawa as to what they think about the potential acquisition. Some information about the next first-party PlayStation game from Ben Studios. Very interesting. They are moving into something new, and many other things to go over in today's show. If you do enjoy this content, you want to help the channel grow, make sure to hit the subscribe, share the video, like the video, all of that stuff. But let's jump into it right here with talking about where Xbox wants to bring Xbox and the Xbox app. We heard a few weeks ago Sarah Bond come out and say they had to delay the release of the Xbox app on the Google Play Store on Android devices because of everything that is going on right now within the courts, as well as Google wanting to take a share of all of the app purchases that would be done within the Xbox app. They're still trying to figure all that stuff out. You've seen the Epic versus Apple case that's been going on. So all that needs to be figured out, but they want to release the Xbox app on Android and potentially on iPhones and iOS, where you can download your Xbox games purchased, your Game Pass stuff, and then be able to play all of your stuff right through the Xbox app. And it seems like they also want to bring that over to PC, where it is not just Game Pass, but pretty much your entire Xbox library, which I think is a very smart move. It does seem like they're trying to gear up here to be somewhat of a competitor to Steam and try to take over the PC market. And I know that will be very, very difficult because Steam is a juggernaut. They're reaching new player concurrent records and everything. So it'll be interesting to see how this all goes down. But we have this news here saying Microsoft wants to make the Xbox app the home of PC gaming. Hundreds of more games are now appearing in the Xbox app as Microsoft looks to bring even more PC games to its ecosystem. And we have Chris Charla here, the general manager of content curation and programs at Xbox, saying, earlier this summer, we began working with partners to bring all PC games with Xbox features into the Xbox app. We're super excited to see what Xbox games come to Windows PC from game creators in the future, and to welcome nearly 400 titles that previously weren't discoverable or purchasable in the Xbox app. And that is one of the, I would say, major criticisms with the Xbox app on PC, is that it seems like they didn't really take it as seriously for a while with trying to make it an actual place where PC gamers would go towards, not just for Xbox Game Pass. And that's the direction that they are trying to go here. And it makes complete sense with the whole everything is an Xbox. You want to give gamers on the platform the big incentives to stay on the platform by giving them access to their entire library. That just is a no-brainer. It can't just be Xbox Game Pass if they want to expand the ecosystem to every single screen, because you're going to have a lot of people that just want to purchase their games, want to take advantage of sales that Xbox has. They have great sales on the console. I'm sure a lot of that would translate over to the PC store as well if those games are in both places. And similar to what Steam does with like their summer sale, their winter sale, all of that. A lot of people just like to purchase their games, have them in their library, build up that backlog and everything, and be able to play them on any device that they do have. So that makes a ton of sense. And to me, that's very exciting for the future of Xbox. As somebody who has a huge library on the Xbox console, if I get all those on PC as well, on top of my Game Pass subscription, that's just a win-win for people like me who are heavily invested in it. It says here as well that the new 400 new games include titles from Japanese studios like Kemco and Kairosoft, alongside games like The Invincible by Double 11. More than 100 of these new titles are also Xbox Play Anywhere, which is the key feature. We're seeing it utilized very well from like Square Enix particularly, as well as from games like Metaphor ReFantazio and Atlas and Sega, where you purchase the game once, you purchase it on your Xbox, you purchase it on PC, you can play that game on your consoles and on your PC. It's a great feature that I don't think enough people talk about, but games that have it, it is, to me, a game changer for deciding where I want to purchase my games. If it has Play Anywhere, it's an instant no-brainer for me to want to actually go ahead and pick it up on the Xbox platform. Continues here saying, so if you buy the Xbox console version and then you can play the Xbox PC version too, universal Xbox ownership as well as universal cloud saves on Xbox and cross-play between Xbox versions on console and PC and other platforms at the developer's discretion are awesome features players love. I mean, cloud saves is one thing that Xbox does very good, especially when you're comparing it to PlayStation's cloud saves. It's just a big difference here, and you can tell that they've been working on this for a while, setting up for where they are now, setting up for this future of Xbox, which is the Xbox app is basically going to be the main thing here. Technically, even on the console, you're just accessing the Xbox app through their console UI, but you take that, you just transfer it over to every single screen. So this update fixes a big problem with Xbox app where it wasn't easy to find Xbox Play Anywhere games that might have otherwise been available in the Microsoft Store. And they also say Microsoft has been gradually improving its Xbox app over the past years, including some handheld focused improvements. The software giant has also been trying to tempt game developers over to its Windows-based store in recent years, even lowering its cut from 30% to just 12% to try and shake up PC gaming. And I don't know how much that actually has a major effect, because the reality is I believe Epic did the same thing to try to take on Steam, and it just didn't do much. I mean, Steam is still by far the dominant player in PC gaming, so I don't know how much of a cut change actually brings people over, because if you don't have the player base that want to use your PC app, it doesn't really matter if you're getting more money out of each copy sold. It's just not going to reach nearly amount of players, and the amount of players on Steam just makes it way more incentivized to put your games there, because you're going to sell way more copies. Even if you're paying a bit more of a cut to Steam, you're going to make more money at the end of the day. So that's the key. You got to get more players jumping in to this app, jumping into the Xbox ecosystem by offering all of these great features. So cool stuff there. I think this is a major step forward to improve the PC app. I do believe this is the future. Xbox Play Anywhere is what Xbox is doing. I mean, they've obviously told us that, but they are finally bringing out some major improvements to make that future a reality and making the incentive to purchase a game on Xbox way more than it just having the Game Pass on PC and on the console itself. Because let's be honest, I mean, unless they do a lot and put a lot of work into making the Xbox PC app a competitor to Steam, it's going to be very hard for it to ever compete. Now, the other cool thing that we're just getting right now, at least for the Xbox insiders, which means it's going to be coming to everybody in a little bit here, you're in the alpha and alpha skip ahead ring. You can now save limited storage space and play own games directly on your Xbox via the cloud. Now, you could previously do cloud gaming on your Xbox console, but that was only for games that were on Xbox Game Pass, and they are rolling this out, and it's just another step forward to be able to play your entire catalog wherever you are. They're rolling this out here to be able to play any of your games via the cloud. It says insiders within the alpha and alpha skip ahead rings are receiving an early gift from Xbox this holiday season. They are among the first to test an oft-requested Xbox Cloud Gaming feature. Starting today, this select group of insiders with an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription can stream games they own directly to their Xbox Series X, Series S, or Xbox One console via Xbox Cloud Gaming. So very cool. I mean, it's just another addition to your Game Pass Ultimate subscription. If you're somebody like me who has Game Pass Ultimate, I'm subscribed for a while. I already have it stacked and everything. This is always something that I've wanted from Xbox. If they're going to go and really invest into this whole cloud gaming thing, they have to always find ways to improve upon it. And the biggest thing they can do, in my opinion, is just allowing you to play your own games via the cloud, continuously add games. We've already seen, I think they added like 50 games or so to the cloud service for purchase, and they have to just continue to add to that catalog, and eventually it'll cover most major games that people have. I mean, there'll always be games that won't be available on this service for various different reasons, licensing reasons. Maybe they're just too small. No need to invest money into doing that because there's no gain from it. But at the end of the day, it will cover, I think, most games that people do own, and it'll just be a big jump here. Playing on my console, game that I've purchased, I'm out at my house, I have an hour or something, maybe on break at like work or something, and I want to jump in and play a game that I purchased. Now I'm going to be able to do that via my phone and cloud gaming and everything. It's a cool future. I like this. I think this is a cool thing. Obviously, it brings into question the whole digital future, and as somebody who does like physical games, this will obviously hurt that even more, because you're always going to have to weigh the benefit as to, do you want a physical copy or do you want that convenience of the digital copy and be able to play it on any device? Maybe if they can integrate something with physical games when you purchase it, where it will be accessible via the cloud somehow, with it knowing that you have the license, that would be cool as well. Because I mean, there's still disk drives on your Xbox, and they're going to have to continue to accommodate those players who have an Xbox Series X, who have physical media. And I don't think the disk drive will be completely gone in the next gen. Maybe there'll be a separate disk drive that you attach like you see on the PS5 and everything. But this whole future, we're really seeing an adjustment this generation in consoles, in gaming. So much has happened with the acquisitions, with the multi-platform strategy from the major players out there. It's a very cool time to see how the gaming industry is kind of evolving and changing, which is going to lead to just, for the gamers, I think, more access, more value for your dollar and all of that stuff. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be a major thing playing forward into the future, especially if PlayStation starts to do more of this stuff as well, which I do believe that they will. You're already seeing that happen with them putting games on PC, the hints that they are building a PC app and everything. It's going to come down to the stores. Which store is going to attract more customers, and having good features like this is going to be the thing that does win out in the end. Now, we do have this as well. Tom Warren showing how to stream your Xbox games to your Xbox consoles, just kind of how it works and everything. So here is him on X, and you can see goes into his games library and then clicks on a game, and this is in Game Pass. This is Cyberpunk 2077, and there's just a button there that says play with cloud gaming, and it'll launch it and load it up. And then when you go over to your actual library, you can actually see the games that work with cloud gaming, because you go to the menu and then you go down to ready to play, and it'll say installed, ready to install, or cloud gaming. So it will filter out the games that do have this feature. And I'll be honest, for me, when I'm using Xbox and I see a game on Game Pass that I'm not sure that I want to play, I've used this feature already a lot, where I just load it up on cloud gaming, play it for an hour or so, see if it's worth me installing it. It is a good feature, because having to sit down and wait for a game to install, especially if you just don't really care too much to play it and you've realized you wasted a bunch of time, this will solve a lot of those issues. So excited for all of that. All right, let's talk a couple more Xbox things here. Some smaller stuff, but some interesting kind of funny stuff as well. Bethesda, Starfield, Doom coming together here with a new creation, bringing over Doom weapons into the game. So if you're still playing Starfield and you love Doom, this is going to be something for you. They say here there's a new creation in Starfield celebrating the 31st anniversary of Doom. And this is developed by Kingath and produced by Bethesda. It is free, and it gives players a new mini quest rewarding them with Slayer's armor. So go check that out if that's something you are interested in. I mean, that's cool always to see this kind of crossover between IPs and franchises, especially from the Xbox front. They have so many now. They should be doing this with like all of their games, all of their FPSs. There should be like events or something where you get that crossover between Doom, Starfield, Halo, Call of Duty. There's just so much that they could do with all of this stuff. So cool to see them doing it with Starfield. We did talk about this the other day. So I was wrong as to what I thought it was. I thought it was going to be something with like FIFA or a soccer game or something like that. And a lot of people were thinking this may be a tease for the Xbox handheld, which it absolutely was not. And this was when Xbox UK put out their original tweet saying something smaller, something little is coming, which you could think, yeah, that may be a handle. But what it has to do with is something completely off and different. It has to do with darts. If you're a fan of darts, this is for you. But Xbox and Luke the Nuke Littler, they're teaming up and partnering here. It says, we're proud to sponsor Luke the Nuke 180 for the official PDC World Darts Championship 2025, which means that you can score more with Xbox and win prizes all tournament long. So that's all it is. It's a darts sponsorship, which, to be honest, I've watched darts before, and I'm always blown away about just how hype darts is, the crowd and everything. It's always hilarious how crazy people go for darts. But that's interesting. If you're a darts fan, there it is. That is the sponsorship. And then the other thing here that was kind of funny is Snoop Dogg. As we know, he is a lifetime Xbox fan. That infamous video of him telling Xbox to get their shit together with Xbox Live and everything. He is doing a giveaway for an Xbox chain giveaway. Basically, you get a controller, which like looks like there's like a bunch of diamonds on it. Obviously not going to be real diamonds, but it is like all blinged up and everything, with an 8-bit DOE stand, phone attachment with it for cloud gaming. And Snoop Dogg here has announced that he's giving, there's only one of them, and I mean one for him, and then he says one to give away. So Snoop Dogg's promoting Xbox, which he always has. He showed off his player hours with the whole Xbox recap thing, and he had an insane amount of hours in it. So he definitely is a gamer. definitely is an Xbox fan, and that is just a continuation of that Xbox partnership. Let's move on here and let's talk about the thing that has been huge discussion recently, and it is PlayStation and Sony's purchase of Kadokawa and them being in talks about this thing actually going down. The more information that does come out, the more likely it does seem like there is going to be a deal here. PlayStation is going to get From Software, which would be a major win for them, as they're out here trying to compete with Xbox with all their acquisitions. From Software is a major win for PlayStation if they are able to pull this thing off. Now, the information that we do have now is now Sony confirming their intent to buy From Software parent companies Kadokawa. We have this tweet here. This was from Yahoo News Japan, so it's all in Japanese. Obviously, I can't read it, but Genki Japan here says, a quote that was in that article, "It's true that we have made an initial statement of intent. We would appreciate it if we could refrain from further comments." So they are in the midst here of discussing just the entire buyout of this thing. From what we saw previously, I think I talked about last week or so, was the issue that was happening here was that I think PlayStation or Sony, they don't want everything Kadokawa owns. They kind of just want pieces of it. But Kadokawa only wants to make a deal if they're able to pass over their entire entity, everything that they do have. So they're probably going to have to figure that one out. But to me, this is a major play for anime, for Sony, and as well for gaming. For From Software, because From Software, huge company here that makes some of the best games in the world, and they would add it to their portfolio and repertoire. The question you'd have to ask, would those games becoming exclusive? I don't think so. I know a lot of people are saying that I would be wrong on this, but I don't think so, especially when you look at what happened with Bungie. They purchased Bungie, they kept Destiny multi-platform. There's no way that they're going to go out there and just cut off a huge segment of their revenue by taking it off of every other platform and locking it just to the PlayStation platform. It just doesn't make business sense, especially with how much they're potentially going to have to pay for this thing. They're going to have to make their money back. And the easiest way to do that is to get as many people to purchase the From Software games going forward. But we will see. Maybe they do. Maybe they're just so bold and think that in the long run, it will help them more to make these games exclusive to PlayStation. If, of course, this deal does go through. It still may not happen, but it is looking more and more that there are some major talks that are happening that would lead you to believe that there's a deal that is going to be eventually worked out here between Kadokawa and Sony. And employees at From Software have actually commented on this, and they're actually apparently thrilled to be purchased by Sony if this does happen. This comes via Eurogamer. And they say employees at From Software owner Kadokawa are reportedly optimistic about a potential buyout from Sony due to frustration with current management. And specifically, they say as a result, the employees are said to be thrilled at the prospect of an acquisition by Sony. The people around me are thrilled at the prospect of an acquisition by Sony, a veteran Kadokawa employee told Bunshun. They say that's because there's a certain number of employees who are dissatisfied with the Natsuno administration, which didn't even bother to hold a press conference after people's personal information was leaked in the cyber attack. They expect that if Sony were to acquire the company, they would get rid of the president first. And that was a major cyber attack. They say included video streaming platform Nico Nico, as well as personal employee information as part of 1.5 terabytes of stolen data. So they're thinking that they're going to, I guess, get revenge on the president and everything if Sony were to purchase them. I don't know if they remember or not, but like Sony has been the victim of many cyber attacks as well, where lots of personal information has been breached as well. I don't know how much better Sony is for this, but they seem pretty thrilled here that potentially this would get them a win with, I guess, their anger towards management and towards the president of Kadokawa. So we'll see what happens. Again, they're in talks, and I believe nothing's going to come out between now and the end of the year, but this may be like an early 2025 major announcement to kick off the gaming news and the gaming industry. Now, when it comes to Astrobots, this is probably going to be announced here or shown off potentially at the Game Awards. Who knows? But there is an announcement here for Astrobots that free DLC is coming tomorrow with new bots. They say an Astrobot Christmas DLC has been announced featuring some new attainable bots, which will only be available for those who have already completed the game. And it's a surprise announcement came courtesy of the new PlayStation blog post. I wonder if they will try to bring more eyes to this announcement by showing something off at the Game Awards. The question is going to be, what does Xbox have? What does PlayStation have? And will there be anything big from either one of those? They may say silent, so because they may end up doing their own shows in 2025. So you don't want to spend all that money to just get some quick engagement and quick marketing here at the Game Awards. Now they are working on future games, which is great. I mean, we know Ghosts of Yote is coming, but I would hope to see more from PlayStation in 2025 besides just that. One studio that has been in the rumors a lot recently at PlayStation has been Ben Studio. We heard the other day that they're going to be making a remaster, or reportedly making a remaster of Days Gone, which I don't think needs it at all, but hey, neither did The Last of Us need like all of the remasters that it has gotten. So I'm not surprised if they did. Horizon didn't need a remaster and they did that. So it looks like Days Gone is going to be getting one, but a new IP is also in development as the screenshot has surfaced. So here are the key takeaways of what you need to know about this. As Ben Studio, known for Days Gone, is reportedly developing a new IP focused on a live service model instead of a sequel. Recent discoveries from a UI designer's portfolio suggest the new project may involve a third-person shooter with military themes. There are indications of game mechanics involving customization, ranking systems, and advanced weaponry hinting at a modern military setting. And you can see them here. Like you can see the types of weapons that they have, SMGs, hand cannon, all that stuff, the guns that they do have in there. And I mean, there isn't too much here that you can take away from this other than, yes, third person online multiplayer game. Not surprising. They need a games as a service multiplayer game. Concord failed $400 million worth. They're still going to have to make something that does succeed in that genre, whether people want that or not from PlayStation. The reality is they need something to bring in continuous revenue into their ecosystem from their first party. What I just don't understand is like they have so many backlog IPs that they could just dive into and make something that would instantly attract attention and instantly bring over people to play it. Think about Resistance. Why don't they make a new Resistance game? Make that an online multiplayer shooter with a cool story attached to it as well for single player. Why not jump into make a new SOCOM or something? I think a lot of people will be interested in that as well. There's just so many games there. Killzone, are they ever going to bring Killzone back? Probably not. So they already have established IPs where they could take those, turn them into multiplayer games as a service style games. And I think they would do far better initially for sure compared to what Concord did, which just absolutely nobody cared about Concord at all. And in fact, speaking about Concord, as we know, Marvel Rivals is a huge success and NetEase is behind that. And they kind of talk about Concord. They kind of explain why they believe Concord flopped. And this is what I was saying way even before the game was released, that this game doesn't bring any new value to gamers. NetEase seems to agree with that, as the director of Marvel Rivals had this to say in regards to the failure of Concord. They say, there's a switching cost. I've already invested in Overwatch. I've got 15 skins for Pharah. I'm not going anywhere. It almost seems like he's been watching my videos, because that's what I was saying about why these games don't succeed. It's very hard to pull people away from games they've already invested all their time and money into. You really have to give them something new and valuable. Marvel Rivals gives them the Marvel IP. That's new and valuable to gamers, even if they're playing Overwatch. That alone brings people over. He goes on here to say, as a game developer, you're always worried until the audience has responded. The truth is that I don't think anybody can accurately predict this, or the game industry would be radically different today. There's a lot of games that come out that people are like, it's going to do well, then it flops, or people come out and go, it's going to flop, and then it succeeds amazingly. So I think it's really hard to tell ahead of time, and you're always worried about that. Sasser said he hoped the popularity of the Marvel IP would be enough to convince players who are already invested in competing games to try something new. It absolutely was. I mean, you can tell by the player counts. And he says, I think the trick is that you need to have the reason that people want to come and play your game. And I think Marvel Rivals does that exactly with the superhero. I don't know about you, but when I heard the concept of the game, I was like, oh my God, I want to be Storm in the game. I want to go and be Doctor Strange in the game. I want to be those heroes in the game. That sounds awesome. And of course, my mind immediately leaped to all the cool possibilities you could have with that. That's what I think will pull people in as well too. If we've done our jobs well, they'll love what they play, and they'll want to play some more. And again, yes, it is Marvel IP that has pulled people over to play Marvel Rivals versus other games that they were currently playing as well. So he is just basically saying here that Sony's Conquer flopped because it did not bring any unique value to gamers and to the industry. And that is absolutely the case. The game wasn't bad mechanically. Like if you seriously tried it out and you gave it a chance and you played a couple of hours of it, which I did, it played great. Like there was nothing wrong with it. It wasn't broken. It felt good. It was just boring. There just wasn't anything there. The character designs were brutal. There's nothing that these characters or stories or anything that wanted to make you go and continue to play through it and pull you away from other stuff that you're playing. That is the major failure here of Concord. And you would think that something like that would have been discovered way before this game was released. To me, that is just a failure of management to not have any forethought into what do gamers want. Will this pull people away from what they're currently playing? And then just to continue down the road as to what happened with Concord. Release it to fail under like a week and lose millions and millions of dollars. All right, a couple more things here. Do you want to go over Epic Games? I always like talking about this stuff in case you don't know this, and I don't want you to miss out. Epic Games will be giving away 16 free games over Christmas, and this will be beginning on December 19th. And they say a mystery free game will be given away each day for 15 consecutive days. They will be available to claim for just 24 hours, excluding the last one, which will be free from January 2nd to January 9th. And as of right now, the Epic Game Store is currently giving away Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, and Bus Simulator 21, which is already pretty cool because the Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga game is awesome. So if you haven't played that, I definitely recommend go check it out. Jumping over here, Black Myth Wukong is getting an update. They're adding boss rush mode and in new equipment. So if you're a fan of Black Myth Wukong, you're going to be able to jump in and play some new content for it. One of the questions that I think may be answered today at the Game Awards is Black Myth Wukong coming over to Xbox. I wouldn't be surprised if we got that announcement. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I have no idea, but I would not be surprised if that is one of the big Xbox announcements that does happen with the game finally dropping on the Xbox Series X and S. A couple more things. The first Berserker Khazan, a game that I've already seen a couple of gameplay trailers to. A phenomenal looking game. We're going to get the release date announcement for this today at the Game Awards. This was leaked here by Bill Bilkun, and it will be coming out March 27th, 2025. So not too far away if you're looking forward to playing this one. And finally, Nintendo now owns 100% of the Xenoblade studio, Monolith Soft. Phenomenal games. If you haven't played the Xenoblade games, go check them out. This is obviously a smart move by Nintendo because this game does very well. It is a staple in their lineup. It says here, as spotted by Automaton, the company page on Xenoblade Studio website says it has a total of 2,400 shares, and that is 100% owned here by Nintendo. They say, while there's no indication of exactly when this took place, it appears to have been sometime in the past couple of months because until recently, Nintendo had 96% of these shares. So Xenoblade, fully owned here by PlayStation. Makes sense. Great game, great franchise, great on Nintendo, and we'll see what's next from them in the series. But I will end the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you are new here, hit that subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video.